It was an 8-goal thriller, wasn't it? Old Trafford last night. What a match between Manchester United and Bournemouth. 4 apiece. Ruben Amorim, as you can imagine, not happy with his defence.
We are lacking of quality when we defend our goal. It's something that we need to address, of course. I think it's different when you suffer so many goals and the opponent doesn't have the same amount of, not even near, that we create to the opponent. Is really frustrated, but we need to work a lot in the way we defend the box. We have talent in the back, we have quality players in the back, we just need to be better as a team defending. But that is a good point, that at least show that we took care of the offense. We are improving, but I think it's not the same situation. We have the characteristics, we just need to work together and to improve our players because they have quality to defend better.
Ruben Amorim quite calm, I suppose, considering the way in which Manchester United let that game slip away from them. You weren't here yesterday.
I was watching it though.
Oh, good. Well, that's lucky.
I didn't have to.
No, that's true.
Busy man, you know. To be fair, they have been in some of the recent games going forward much more pleasing on the eye and a little bit more exciting. But again, when they get and they got a little lucky in a sense yesterday. Bruno Fernandes free kick that was awarded was extremely debatable, but the referee Simon Hooper gave it. So, they've got better players in the forward areas. They still have massive issues in the middle of the park, and it's not just about the back line defending. And I know he's missing Maguire, he's missing De Ligt, he's missing Mazraoui, but the back line struggling is not just it's not just because you have less experienced players in there, which they have. It's a consequence of unbalanced middle of the park as well. It's something that Liverpool have had issues with this season. Konate and Van Dijk in the back four have been under more pressure because the dynamics in front of them have changed and they've not been as solid. Now, although they're on similar points, Liverpool are a much better outfit than Man United, but in a sense of your back line struggling and you're letting, you're giving up teams a lot of chances. It's not just the fact that it's Shaw and it's Heaven and it's Lenny Yoro. It's the fact that you've got Fernandes and Casemiro, which really I don't think is a very good combination, not in this day and age, and certainly not protecting a weak back four. When you have a perceived weak back line, back three, back five, you've got to make sure you're solid in front. And Manchester United are not.
It was great for the neutral, not though, of course, if you're any sort of defensive coach.
Oh no, I mean, listen, I agree with every single thing Craig said about the middle of the park,
right.
Not stopping anybody, regardless whether it's Bournemouth or anybody else. But at the end of the day, when you're a defender, there comes a time when you have to do your job. You can't just keep blaming the middle of the park for letting teams get at you. As a okay goalkeeper, I don't remember him making a real save since he started in goal for Manchester United. There's not one save where you go, wow, how did he get that?
I think
Nothing.
both goalies yesterday.
It's not true.
Shaq was on yesterday and, Shaq is giving them a pass. Why the hell? Both goalkeepers, all right, Fernandes hits the top corner.
Yeah.
But that's on Petrovic's side, right? Line the wall up over there, you stand on this side, and even if somebody pings it like Fernandes did, you're only a yard away or so away from putting it over the bar. Both goalkeepers stood in the middle of the goal. That's not... Even we know that as outfield players. When you put a wall up, you have to go to the other side. I actually think he's made some decent saves, this goalkeeper. No?
At the end of the game, yeah.
Well, in general.
At the end of the game. He made two.
Right, hold on. Okay. I wish Shaki was here, because he made a save with his feet. When if he had stood up strong, he would have just stuck it in there.
What, the header?
The goalkeeper, when he saved it with his feet right at the end. I mean, come on.
No.
If he'd stood strong, he would have caught it with two hands.
We can say on a specific action, and in specific action, we can see that he hesitates between using his hand or his leg, and he picks the leg because I think it's more convenient for him. But that was a real save. And he had two big saves. Otherwise, Manchester United would have lost the game. But if I can put myself into the discussion,
next time Shaq's on with me and you, we'll ask him why the goalkeeper when the ball's coming to him, was falling on his
Why don't we
backside
get him
to
on the
save
phone
his
now?
leg.
Has never been in so much demand.
I know. I'll call shit.
I think
I'm sorry. He's an okay
No, but,
goalkeeper. He's not.
I think he's
not.
done. I actually think he's done better. I think he's done better than people expected when he came in because of his inexperience, because they were so weak at the back. I think he's done. I think he's the. Ironically, I think that position now is less of a problem for them than some of the other positions, and it was a big headache for them at one point.
Yeah.
I think he's been not bad.
I don't think it's the worst of their problems. I don't know why you picked.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's the worst of the problem.
That sounds
I'm just
like
saying that
Frank, what do you say?
When you need a save, when you need a real
say nothing.
save, I'm sorry, I don't think this guy's making it.
No, Stevie, I just want to say that, that's not the only problem. And we could see on the first goal that Manchester United has conceded that you can see Mason Mount chasing the player who's going to score the goal for Bournemouth, asking Evan to come out. And nobody comes to stop the guy from shooting. And that's the elementary action that the central back has to do. That's taking the decision at what point he has to get out, and Heaven doesn't do it. He's still a young player. He was tricked also on the second goal. He's still a young player, but he has to learn very quickly. You play for Manchester United, you have to know when to take those decisions, and he didn't. And the first 2 goals is because he's not covering on the second one. On the first one, it doesn't go out.
Hold on, how many did he let in?
Well, it's not always the goalie's fault. I mean, the free kick, I didn't like the free kick. I don't know why you're picking on the goalie. By the way, I was watching this game, when United came back, I was watching the crowd celebrate, and I suppose there is an air of desperation because they've been pants now for a long time. But I had to check. It's Bournemouth they're playing, not Barcelona, right? Bournemouth.
Yeah, but you just hold on to anything if you're United fan.
They're playing Bournemouth and they're celebrating like they've just won the league when they came back to go 4-3, which most of them knew they were never going to hang on to. Bournemouth who sold all the best players. Bournemouth who have one of the smallest budgets. Away from home, 15th in the league.
They're on a poor run.
And that's kind of where, they are on a poor run after a really good start to the season. And that's kind of where they are. And then you just know if they'd won. The conversation yesterday on the show, if they'd won, would probably have been about the top 4. And they've been driven by this papering over the cracks. Oh, are United good enough for the top 4? No, they're not. Because Bournemouth have really been struggling of late. And I mentioned all the departures. And they go up there and they themselves could have had 6 or 7 goals.
Meanwhile, a member of Manchester United squad is sad. That would be Bruno Fernandes. This is what he said in an exclusive interview, saying, I could have left in the transfer window. I would have earned much more money. I was going to leave a season ago. I would have won many trophies this season, but I decided not to go because I genuinely love the club. From the club, I felt it was, if you go, it's not so bad for us. It hurts me a bit. More than hurting me, it makes me sad. I'm a player that no one can criticise. I'm always available. I always give my best. The passion and empathy for the club were the same, but it reaches a point where money is more important to them than you. The club wanted me to leave. I told the directors that I think they didn't have the courage to make that decision because the manager wanted me. But if I said I wanted to leave, even with the manager wanting me to stay, the club would let me. This was, of course, the links to Saudi Arabia. We discussed this.
Is that the trophies he's talking about?
During the summer.
Is that the trophies he's talking? He could go to Saudi Arabia and win trophies.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like taking a kid to the candy store, isn't it? I mean,
he feels let down. The club wasn't loyal to him. Didn't make him really feel wanted.
Well, you know what? I'd be a bigger concern if I was Bruno Fernandes. The fact that he decided to stay when he knew they're just not a very good team.
Yeah, but he loves Manchester United. That's what he was saying. He loves the club.
No, fair. Well, fine. We'll crack on then. The manager wants him. That's the most
important. The manager wants him. The club doesn't care.
Yeah, who cares about board of directors sometimes? As long as the manager wants you.
I'm trying to figure out why he's coming out with this anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite frankly, what's the point of this?
Well, he saw Salah do it. He thought,
is he looking for sympathy? Is he looking for a pat on the back?
Yeah.
I mean, he loves the club. I don't want to go. So if Real Madrid had come in, would he have stayed? He loves the club so much. I don't think so. I think he'd have been on that. He'd have been on that plane or any way possible getting there as quick as possible.
Right.
So, yeah, don't think so.
Frank?
Yeah, I completely agree with Stevie. I mean, I don't know why he's coming out just now. We don't need to hear that. We don't care about that. It clears now to the fact that supposedly the club doesn't like Fernandes, and only the coach likes him, and that he will never go. And again, as Steve just said, it would have been Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid. I think Fernandes would have gone. So that doesn't make any sense for me.
Just a reminder, Football Reporters is available every week. The latest podcast dives deep into Manchester United, plus the boys look ahead to AFCON, which of course kicks off next week.
What a game, but Charlie Austin, was it game of the season so far?
I think so. I think from the neutral point of view anyway, it was a game of the season so far. Goals, what you'd want. I think the interesting bit was the vulnerability of Manchester United defensively. To concede four at home is tough pill to take. Bournemouth on the flip side of it, percentage score 4 goals away from home, you'd expect to take all 3 points. But again, you've got to look at it as well. Got to give credit to Bournemouth. 3 years on the spin, they've scored 3+ goals at Old Trafford.
And when you talk about with Manchester United, how good in attack, not so good in defence. People were saying that the first half was some of the best they've played under Ruben Amorim. But of course, they still didn't get the win. I think you kind of see both sides to everything here. Yeah,
you can, but I think that just shows, like you say, that's been Ruben Amorim's tenure at Manchester United, how the performances have been. At the start of the first half, they were really good and exciting to watch. And again, after Tavernier's goal, I think they ended up having 17 shots after that. Look, Manchester United played promising football, good attacking football, but ultimately got undone by not even errors or mistakes. They was just punished because they wasn't together as a team collectively at the back.
What is the difference at the back then? Is it the defenders or is it the defensive coaching on the training pitch? Who's it down to?
I think they all have to take accountability for it as a collective, really, because there's so many spaces that they left in areas that they could be punished for. If you look at Semenya's goals, Shaw gets the ball away over there. It goes through, Semenya scores. But even Evan Nilsson's goal, a touch, a great finish. It's just them gaps. Could they be tighter in certain situations? But everything comes through the centre of the pitch. Yeah, I say Semenya's first goal is down the side and he runs in on angle. But the other two are down the middle of the goal. Free kick there from Tavernier. You've also got to look at, everyone can say about Lamens what he done with the wall, but you've got to look at the position of Bruno Fernandes and Mateus Cunha in that side of it also. But in the biggest grand scheme of things, United have conceded 4 goals at home again.
Well, look at this. Okay, this was Monday Night Football ran this graphic. So Amorim clean sheets and the kind of ratio, 6 clean sheets in 43 games. If you look at the kind of percentage on the right, it's one of the worst in Premier League history. Alongside there, you've got Gary makes no and Coyle. Nothing wrong with them as managers, but you would expect West Brom and Bolton to have fewer clean sheets than Manchester United. It seems like Manchester United on there, it really sticks out of those other clubs. Okay, maybe Tottenham, but Ozzy Ardiles was famous for how attacking he was. Ruben Amorim isn't famous for his attacking.
I think that stands out because it is Manchester United, arguably one of the biggest clubs in world football. So whatever page, any stat you throw at Manchester United, it's going to be alarming. Everyone's going to open their eyes to it. I think you look at it now, it is just one thing after another. They are taking steps forward in certain directions, but in others they're not moving anywhere. And defensively, they aren't great. So we can talk about how well they are doing attackingly. They've got Mateus Cunha, looks like an out-and-out Manchester United player. Brian Mbeumo, them two linking up really well. Bruno Fernandes is himself arguably he's going to go down as a Premier League legend. He is for what he has done, but he's a clutch player for Manchester United. Defensively, though, they are short.
Right, well, also on Monday Night Football, Jamie Carragher had some interesting comments about Bruno Fernandes following his stunning free kick. Listen to this.
Bruno Fernandes, among others, decided to have his say in the game. First time since 2012 that we've seen a direct free kick scored by both sides in the same game. What a strike, Jamie.
Amazing. Listen, he's just a brilliant player, isn't he? He has his critics, but it's not for his football. I mean, you think of the goals and the assists he's got. And if he had a few more trophies, if he won a Premier League or maybe a Champions League with Manchester, we're probably talking about one of the greatest sort of foreign players certainly to come to our shores. But because he hasn't quite got that, but his numbers stack up as much as anybody's.
Right, Charles, is Carragher right? If Bruno had won more trophies at Manchester United, would he be classed as an all-time Premier League great?
I can see where Jamie Carragher's coming from on that, but from my opinion, I think he's in the conversation, he's in the bracket already for me for what he has done. But yes, if he wins trophies, Manchester United, yes, of course, then he becomes that. But also, you can say it on the flip side, if he plays in a better Manchester United team, does that free him up even more to score more goals, to assist more of his teammates?
Yeah, okay, we've got a poll running on this as well on Manchester United, which we'll get to in a moment. But Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, you can visit the Sky Sports app or scan that QR code for more details. Someone who did that a few months ago was KG, a Manchester United fan. KG, always good to see you. We'll get into Amrim and last night in a moment, but on that last bit there about Bruno Fernandes, do you think he is a Premier League great, and how does he compare to former Manchester United captains?
Oh, tough one. I would say Bruno's been one of the best signings we've made post Sir Alex Ferguson. That's the best way to define him. It's a shame that I don't want to say like he's wasted his best years here, but he's not going to be spoken about in conversations with other great players because he hasn't won enough. Man United is a club that's built off winning things. It's hard to say without a European title, not even a Europa League, to put him in that bracket. But I think Man United fans understand how important he's been for us.
We can't get enough of you, KG. We've got two of you on the screen there.
There's two of me, bro. Oh my God, he's been sacked. He's back. Busting out.
KG, you know when you say with Bruno, and you say about winning trophies, etc. When a flip side, and I'll say, when do United look like they're going to win a league again, or when they're going to go close to winning the Champions League? That's obviously one thing, and that's just a period of time Manchester United are going through. But I just think he's come up trump so many times for Manchester United over the years. Even last night, for argument's sake, I just felt like when he was stood over that free kick, from a neutral point of view, I would just think he's going to score. This is his moment. And you almost knew what was going to come and happen. And this was a fantastic free kick. And I think also what Jamie Carragher said on Monday Night Football was a lot of things get spoken about is off the field stuff. Nobody questions what he does on the pitch. It's how he acts when he's not on the ball, right?
What's crazy is it's mad because amongst the Man United fan base, he divides opinion because you talk about. Still, I don't understand it personally, but obviously he's playing deeper. And you've seen us concede as many goals as we conceded yesterday. And some people say, obviously, he's so desperate to get forward, he does leave gaps. And that's where we can concede. But I think Yaglach, we should just appreciate him while he's here.
But that's nothing new over the years, mate, that how attacking minded he is. Hence the numbers he gets goals, hence the numbers he gets assists. So there's always been that issue with him that he leaves gaps in behind. So is he almost being played out of position for Ruben Amorim to get almost even better out of him than what he is now?
Well, and this is going to be the Ruben Amorim special question, right? They talked about us changing formation, changing shape. Wherever Bruno plays, he's going to be the top assister. It doesn't matter who else comes in. I've seen many players step in and say he's going to replace him. No one ever does it. So you can tell this guy's got the piece. He's got the bit between his teeth to really push on this club. We need a bit more. But you can now say, without a doubt, that guy's incredibly clutch.
Well, what about Kobbie Mainoo? I know that you like him. He came on to a standing ovation. I know you will have enjoyed that as well. But you'll have also known. So what do you think about that whole situation? We've got the picture up there right now.
Jordan, he's Jordan again. Why? This is the most stupidest thing. The pressure has been on Liverpool. Liverpool been the circus. And guess what Jordan does? He takes that Love Island energy to Man United. No one needs to see him do that. Imagine Casemiro's got a yellow card now. He doesn't. He's not going to be in the team. This is your brother's moment. End of the day, people have to wait. You get your opportunity. You must take it. This has been the absolute stupidest move that anyone could do. I don't know who was advising him, but it just reeks of ego. Yes, sir.
KG, no one's advising him. That is self-branding, my friend. That is self-branding. That is him putting himself out there above his brother. All that. I'm not sure he's spoken if he has spoken to him, it's even worse if they'd agreed it. That's what I'm saying. But even worse, that is down to full self-branding, not respecting his brother, not respecting that his brother plays for Manchester United, and not realising the situation that he's in. You need to remember, you are the half brother that went on Love Island, and that is it. Respect the situation that Kobbie Mainoo plays for Manchester United, arguably one of the biggest clubs in world football.
If that's what he wanted, that's worked, because we're talking about it here. here, which means it has worked for him.
It has worked for him, but in a different way. KG, in a different way, in a laughing stock way, is almost like he's not getting the credit. It's like, what are you actually doing? I think, as much as we are talking about, I think that it goes the opposite direction to him, to be honest.
We've scored 8 goals in the last 2 games. And the conversation is about Kobbie Mainoo's brother. And now hopefully Amrin managed this well. We have to take a leaf out of the Liverpool book of how that was a firestorm they had to deal with. And they kind of quelled it and just took out the noise. The problem is the noise is coming from within. How does his brother do that when Man United, we're trying to push on. We're trying to go to the next steps. It's not been easy for the club, for the manager, for everybody involved. And you go out and do this. It's self-serving, and it doesn't help anyone.
Do you think it's going to backfire, KG? Do you think it'll backfire on Kobbie Mainoo? Do you think Ruben Amorim's got that about him?
You can't take it out. Surely you can't take it out on him. He didn't wear the T-shirt.
Yeah, but then the conversation comes. So
unless there's a proof of a text message saying, here, half-brother,
can you
wear this T-shirt that I've got you?
But the conversation's still going to happen between the manager and the player by saying, did you know about this? Obviously, you can say...
Leandro Trossard proved to be the perfect antidote to Arsenal's attacking frustrations, following Mikel Arteta's candid remarks about Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres may have struggled to truly impress since his summer arrival at Arsenal, but over the weekend, there was finally a glimpse of what he is capable of. More importantly, Trossard showed exactly why he could be the key to unlocking the Swedish striker's full potential during Arsenal's hard-fought 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. The 31-year-old winger injected fresh energy into Mikel Arteta's side on Saturday night and helped breathe new life into the Gunners' attack. Shortly after replacing Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, Arsenal found the breakthrough. While Trossard did not directly contribute to either the opening goal or the dramatic stoppage time winner, his influence on the game was undeniable. Trossard took control of proceedings, dictating the tempo and pulling the strings down the left flank. Time and again, he dismantled Wolves' compact defensive setup, releasing Miles Lewis-Skelly into space, picking out Declan Rice on the edge of the box, and crucially, feeding Gyökeres with intelligent, well-timed passes. Operating as a creative hub, the Belgian showcased his playmaking qualities, delivering sharp, purposeful distribution. His introduction completely shifted the momentum of the match, and for the first time in weeks, Arsenal's $64 million striker briefly looked like a genuine threat. Before Trossard's arrival, Gyökeres endured a frustrating and ineffective outing in attack. In fact, the Belgian was the only player to carve out a clear-cut opportunity for the 27-year-old forward, slipping a simple yet incisive ball in behind the Wolves' backline. Gyökeres controlled the pass, beat his defender, and aimed for the far post. Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnstone was beaten, but the Swedish striker saw his effort agonizingly drift just wide. If Arteta truly wants to get the best out of Gyökeres, then granting Trossard a more prominent role in the starting 11th could be the solution. Speaking to TNT Sports after the win, the Arsenal manager openly addressed the challenges facing his marquee signing. It's a collaboration between the two, Arteta explained. He was in some really good positions, but the ball didn't arrive quickly enough, accurately enough, or with the precision a number 9 needs to score. But his commitment and intention were there, and we have to keep pushing. Arteta was equally vocal in defending Gyökeres prior to the match, urging patience with the striker's adaptation to English football. There was huge expectation because we were signing a proven goal scorer, probably with the best statistics in Europe, Arteta said. But he's coming into a different league, the most demanding league in the world. What happens if he doesn't score in 5 or 6 games? That was the only question I asked him. How are you going to react if you don't score in 5 or 6 matches? Can you handle that? And what about the next 100 games? That's what people need to see. The sample size is still very small, so leave him alone. Let him do what he does best. Support him, and I'm convinced things will come good. That message from Arteta resonated beyond the Emirates. In the days following the Wolves' victory, the debate around Gyökeres intensified among pundits, supporters, and former players. While some questioned whether Arsenal's record signing is truly suited to the Premier League's pace and physicality, others pointed to the structural issues around him rather than the striker himself. Much of the post-match analysis focused on Arsenal's chance creation and balance in the final third. The Wolves game highlighted a recurring theme this season. Gyökeres often makes the right movements, but the service into dangerous areas has been inconsistent. When Trossard entered the match, that problem briefly disappeared. Arsenal suddenly looked more fluid, more unpredictable, and far better equipped to supply a traditional number 9. Former players speaking on television and radio were quick to note the contrast. With Trossard drifting inside and linking play, Arsenal's attacking shape became more compact, allowing Gyökeres to stay higher up the pitch and occupy central defenders. That, in turn, created space for midfield runners like Rice and Ødegaard to arrive late in the box. It was a glimpse of an attacking formula that Arsenal have rarely sustained this season. The reaction from supporters has been equally divided. While frustration with Gyökeres' goal return remains, there is growing appreciation for his work rate, physical presence, and willingness to press from the front. Many fans now see Trossard as the missing connector, the player who can translate Gyökeres' movement into genuine scoring opportunities. Internally, Arteta faces an important decision. Persisting with a front line that isolates Gyökeres risks damaging the striker's confidence, especially with tougher fixtures on the horizon. At the same time, promoting Trossard to a regular starting role could mean reshuffling wide positions and reducing Martinelli's minutes, a bold call that would not come without consequences. Yet football at the highest level often comes down to chemistry rather than reputation. The Wolves match suggested that Arsenal's most expensive signing may not need drastic changes to his own game, but rather the right supporting cast around him. If Arteta embraces that idea, Gyökeres' slow start could soon be remembered as nothing more than a difficult adjustment period. For now, the pressure remains. Goals will ultimately define Gyökeres' Arsenal career, and patience in North London is never unlimited. But with Trossard offering clarity, creativity, and calm in possession, Arsenal may finally have found the key to unlocking their striker and turning promise into consistent production.